Hey y'all, so I'm live. So I had shared with y'all last week that I am doing a challenge to go live 30 days. And I've actually been doing it, but I've been doing it on LinkedIn. But I'm practicing going live on the camera. What I realized, and I'm gonna just have a transparent moment. What I realized, yeah, this is my office. This is the background. If I was doing this some other way, I could blur it out, but I can't. So this is what it looks like. Right. Welcome to it, right? But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. So let me stay focused. So what I'm recognizing about myself is like, you know how sometimes we see those videos and they are like short videos, like short to the point videos. You're like, oh man, those are good videos. That was quick. I realize that's not me naturally. That's not my default setting, and I definitely have to practice it. But anyway, so this is not going to be that. But I've been going live on LinkedIn, and I realized I kind of like talking more, sharing information. I always knew I liked talking more, but then I kind of missed coming over here as much. That's on me. Has nothing to do with y'all. But for those of you who are new or do not know who I am Megan Ham. I am a licensed professional counselor, racial play therapist, and a parent-child relationship expert. I'm also a former foster parent, and this group is designed to be a supportive space for foster parents or even parents and caregivers who are dealing with children with big behaviors. One of the things that we honor over here is that it's a safe space. It's a non-judgmental space, and it's a space where we can share information with each other, share experiences. I am not. Um, I'm considered the group expert, but you are the expert on your child and what has worked for you. And something that you've done that's worked may be helpful for another parent. And so today I wanted to come on here. I just had the gumption. You know what gumption means? It's totally different. But anyway, I'm stay focused. So today I had the gumption to come on here and be able to talk about the question of the day. And so the question of the day is there, and it's supposed to be a question that just kind of gets us to think about, the things, our journey, sharing things with each other. And so the question of the day was, how do you connect with your child after a meltdown? I think that's how it was worded. If not, don't judge me. Right. So anyway, so that was the question of the day, and it made me think about a recent experience that I had personally, me being 100% transparent, that I had personally, where it was, where there was a meltdown, there was a disagreement, there was a rah, you know. And when I define a meltdown, I mean like being able to, having to repeat yourself more than once, having to raise your voice, when you are asking your kid to do something. And so we had a meltdown, and it was a meltdown. And meltdowns look different for 11 and 12-year-olds. Y'all know that, right? Especially sassy young ladies. So after the meltdown, though, it wasn't. It was later that day, so everybody kind of went to their own corners. We kind of, everybody did their own thing, and we did not necessarily. In the moment, the meltdown stopped. We didn't have the meltdown ended. They were able to follow through with the expectations that I had given them. And I think a few hours had passed, and it was time to, and so I cooked dinner. This was Monday, actually, because I remember I cooked dinner. And so when it was time for me to cook dinner, I was like, hey, can you come in and help me? And it was just an offering. And at the time, it wasn't intentional, like a reconnection or anything. Guess was like, hey, you want to come help cook dinner? And so they came in and they helped, like we washed dishes, we cooked dinner, they had their thing. And I realized, honestly, while I was cooking, I did realize in that moment that this is how we get to reconnect. Because in my mind, I wanted to be, we're going to be honest, y'all. I wanted to be petty. Is that the word I can use? I wanted to be petty. And when I say that, I mean this, like, sometimes we use experiences with our kids. We want everything to be a teaching moment. Like, I want to be able to teach my kids that you can't say and do what you want to me, or say and do what you want and then turn around 20 minutes later, and when you're in a better space, then I just pretend like it didn't happen. I pretend like my feelings weren't hurt. I pretend like that wasn't uncalled for, right? And so the petty part was like, we ain't friends. Like, don't treat me like crap, and then you're supposed to come right back, and I'm supposed to be the bigger person. I'm supposed to forgive, right? So that's that being 100% human. That's the thing that sometimes can come. And so I definitely in my mind was like, oh, I should do this, but I was like, oh, should I make this a teaching moment? And in the moment, it wasn't about the connection. I had to realize that even though we just had a meltdown that I honestly felt was uncalled for. I mean, it was asking somebody to clean their room should not cause what we had to go through. Y'all hear me? Asking somebody to clean up their stuff in their room should not have caused all of that we had to go through. But it did. And so the thing about it is, what I learned in that moment, I'm sorry, y'all, my computer doing something. Look, I'm up in there. I ain't gonna cut it off. So what I learned in that moment, all right, so it wasn't, let me get back to the story. So it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional that it was a connection moment, but we did. We cooked and we prepared dinner together. And in that moment, it made me realize that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how much our kids melt down, no matter how many of our buttons that they push, it is still important for them to know that unconditionally, I accept you for who you are, I love you, and we're going to still have a good relationship. That was not the moment to have a teachable moment to say, oh, you treated me bad, I'm going to treat you bad. Or you said these very mean, weird things to me, and so I'm going to teach you that that's not how you treat people. Right? That could have definitely, I could have found myself down that rabbit hole, but I didn't. And so, like I said, it wasn't intentional, but as we were cooking, it came to my mind that this is what connection looks like. And so in that, it made me then think about there's a chapter in my book. In the chapter in my book, we talk about making memorable moments. And for the making memorable moments, I don't talk about it a lot, but realizing how important it is, because what it is about is even when we are dealing with things with our kids and we are having hard moments, we still have to make time to make other memorable moments that have absolutely nothing to do with behavior. Right? Do y'all hear me? If we were scheduling a mommy-daughter date and we were going to the movies as a way to connect, no matter what, that connection is important. So I know what y'all gonna say. Megan, I'm not finna reward bad behavior. I'm not finna go spend my money on these kids, and every time I ask them to clean their room, they don't want to do it. I'm not gonna do it, right? Because I've been there. I say the same thing probably 15 times a week, if we're gonna be honest. And I got 2 kids, so it's 30 times. 15 times 2 is how much I probably say that a week. But what I want you to understand is that we can definitely, there is a way that we can honor the commitment that we made to that relationship, and we can still teach behavior strategies and teach reinforcement on the end. Y'all, something's trying to mess up my life. Look. This is what happens when you go live, because now this computer got all this stuff jumping up, and y'all sitting here like, okay, Megan, get to the point. Right. So that's where we are. So making memorable moments. I want y'all to think about that. And I want you to be honest with yourself about what it is that for you, what part of your mindset do you have to change or alter or modify to be able to say, although we just had this moment and I asked you to clean your room and we had to go through all of this kicking and screaming and all the things because I asked you to clean your room, I still want to honor the fact that you love me, I love you, and this is unconditional, right? No matter what behaviors you choose to exhibit, no matter what goes on, I still want you to know that mama loves you no matter what. Now, do we have the opportunity to be able to teach the behavior part? Yes, it definitely has to be addressed. And I will have conversations with mine to say, hey, you know what? We are going to we're going to get pedicures because this is what we were scheduled to do. I don't want you to think that you are getting a pedicure because of the behavior, because the pedicure was already there, right? But I don't always want to prolong it and say, well, we're not going to do it until you can act right. Because what does that mean? And how long does that take? And how do we measure act right? So I want you to think about that. Not to say that you can't use it to elicit the behavior that you want, But also, if you said you're going to do a thing and the purpose of the thing is the connection, I would encourage you to do the thing, even if you had a hard moment, even if you had a meltdown. If this rambling helped you in any way or meant anything to you, definitely put in the comments, what are your thoughts? What are some of the things that you do to reconnect after you've had a meltdown? I would love to hear the feedback on what y'all do. And also, I want you to think about what parts of us need to understand that connection after a meltdown is not rewarding the bad behavior. Okay, thank y'all.